It is fantastic to see all, especially you guys up in the up in the shade on the top of the hill. Welcome to come down at any point. I do have sunscreen. I got one of these. Some of you one day may have one of these. If anyone needs some sunscreen, feel free to just pass it around, use it, or lose it. All right. I'd like you to do something real quick. Everyone take your hands like this. Everyone take your hands like this. All right, what you're going to do is in just a second, I'm going to have you clasp them together with your fingers together with one of your thumbs going to go on top, and you're going to go pretty much like this. Boom. All right, take down, look at it. How many of you, like me, your left thumb is on top? Just raise your hand up. Okay, and then how many of you got your right thumb on top? All right, good. So if your left thumb is on top, it means you're smart, good-looking, handsome. Oh, all right. All right. Just kidding. Doesn't mean that. Doesn't mean that. Doesn't mean that. All right. So get your hands together like that. Boom. Okay. So do you feel like you didn't have to think about that? Do you notice how you just kind of boom? And actually, if you do it like that every single time, it just naturally gets in there, right? Okay. Now here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you to take your hands just like you did, and this time get your other thumb on top. Okay. Feels a little weird? All right. Check your buddy. Everyone's heart's still beating. We're okay? We're okay? All right. What we deal with in life is sometimes things don't necessarily feel or we're used to the way they are. And you know what? That's actually a really, really good thing. Because we get up every single day. So I don't know what time you have to go to school. When I was a kid, I had 0 period. Our school started at 6:20 in the morning. It was brutal. But I think my alarm would go off about 5:50. We lived close to school. Go off at 5:50, and I would do the same thing every day. I'd get up, I'd go into the bathroom real quick, I'd turn on the water, I showered, grabbed the soap, did that. When the shower got out, it was funny. I started to notice that day after day, and as an adult, a long years later, I actually kind of start with the soap. I happen to start with my left hand. I start over here, and then I go here, and then I do I've done the same way of washing my body with soap. I've done the same towel. I take the towel after the shower, and I notice I start to towel myself off the same way every day. When did I start to notice that? When I was 16. I know I look young, but I'm 49 years old. Why am I telling you that? There's things that happen in life that unnoticed to us become habit. And one of the things that becomes habit for people here at the Jamboree, folks that are in your troops and in your crews and whatnot back home, is we get in the habit of saying certain things and living a certain way. Okay, you don't need to stand up for this, but I'd just like everyone to join me. We're going to say the Scout Law. Ready? A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. All right, here's what I'd like you to do. You got a buddy next to you, got 2 or 3 people. I'm just going to give you about a minute. What I would like you to do is take about 10 seconds, 15 seconds per person, and what to you is the most important point of the Scout Law and why? You don't have to convince anybody. You don't have to argue with them. You just want to say, here's what I think is the most important point of the Scout Law and why, and then you want to hear from 2 or 3 people around you. Ready? Go. All right. Now, we're not going to have everybody tell us what there was. We just had you talk, but I would like to hear just a couple people. Anyone willing to share? Yeah, right here first. Good. So loyal, because you have to be loyal to follow all the other parts of the oath. And why? Helpful. And why? Very good. Helpful, because are you really a good person if you don't stop to help them? That's a great question. Right there. I'm not sure that's one of the laws, but tell them fit it into one of the 12. Go ahead. Good. And so what point of the Scout Law do you tie that with? Trustworthy? Yeah, good. So being an honest person is a key to the whole thing. Perfect. Great. Right here. Very good. So trustworthy, because if other people can trust me, then everything else follows. That's great. All right, back there in the back. Very good. So scout is reverent, because God is above all else. That's great. Right here. Very good. Trustworthy, because you can't really have relationship if people can't trust you, right? Being courteous to others. And why would you say being courteous to others? Just because, right? Yeah. All right, good. And last one right here. Hold on. Good. Brave, because if you really face your fears, and then what was the second part? You might find some new interests. So here's the thing that I would tell you. You know what the most important point in the Scout Law is? The one that's most important to you. Now here's why I tell you that. There's not a lot of us today who raise our hand like this. You know, I look at that and I think back to when I was a kid. I think back to, being at class. I had a lot of great friends. A lot of my friends happened to be in Scouts and whatnot. But, not everyone's in it. People are in band. Some of us are in band. Who's a band person? Yep, great. I was a trombonist, okay? Some of us are student council people. Anyone student council? Yep, perfect. Some of us play different sports. Okay, a lot of that. We've got, some of us are gamers. Anyone gamers here? All right. Oh, all right, good. Okay, good. Now, here's the thing. Oftentimes, what people think about when they look at us in scouting is they see maybe our uniform, or maybe they see our neckerchief. Sometimes they might see something like this. But the deal is, most of the time, we don't have that. It's in us, but we're not wearing it, or we're not showing it. But where we're showing it is in every single element of how you and I live life. There are kids in your classrooms, you know them, who they look over and they see, what is special about that? Why does she work so hard? How do you know you can always count on him? Tends to always be honest. You know that their word is true. They're brave. They speak up. Okay? They're not just to stand by somebody, they stand up for somebody. These are special things. Now, we're all in scouting, we practice them, we talk about them, but that's not how the whole world is. And here's an important thing that I want you to kind of think about, if you don't mind, is, you're in whatever grade you are. You may be in 9th grade, you may be in 11th grade. Some of us are in way past that grade. That's okay. What we've got strengthens the world, and the world doesn't even know it. What we have in our Scout Oath and our Scout Law and our motto, it strengthens the world, and and the world doesn't even know it. And one of the things that I'm asking you to look at is, we're here at this Jamboree. This Jamboree's theme is, on your shirts, some of you have it. What is it? Forward. Good. Let me tell you something. A lot of us older folks, we've all been kids. There's always going to be someone probably older than you. There's going to be seniors to the freshmen. There's going to be 30-year-olds to the 20-year-olds. There's going to be gray-haireds to the parents. Here's the thing, though. Older people can tell you a lot about the past. They cannot tell you about the future. Who can tell you about the future is you. This world is not fixed. Sometimes it feels fixed. Sometimes it feels stuck. But it's not. Who's going to write that is sitting here. Many, many years ago, I was sitting right where you were in 1989. That was my first Jamboree. And here's the thing. You're going to finish up school. You're going to go through a couple grades. You're going to graduate. Some of you are going to go into the military and serve our country. Some of you are going to go into the trades and be, the heart, the backbone of kind of what makes our societies work. We're going to build things, make things, fix things. Some of you are going to be teachers. Some of you are going to go into business. Some of you go into faith and be a pastor or a rabbi, something like that. Here's what most of us aren't going to do. Most of us aren't going to be famous. If you look around this amphitheater, there's a lot of trees around us. Every single one of these trees is making the air cleaner. It's helping purify water. It's helping grow food for other animals. And for the most part, you and I don't notice it. And it's actually A-okay. Because that tree knows the role that it's playing. And when you start to think about the role that you're going to play, not in the future, but today amongst your buddies, in your unit, as we spend the next 7 more days together, on the trip home, as you start to go to sports camp or band camp, as we prepare for school, as you get back into classes, in 10 years, when you're in your 20s, you're going to have something that people don't have. And it's right here. Now, let me give you 2 little things you want to think about for yourself. It's always useful to have something of value. Let me say it a different way. Be good at something. You do not have to be the best at anything, but be good at something, because something's valuable. And just like I don't think about screwdrivers much during the course of my day. Man, when I need a screwdriver, I go find it, because it's of value. So whether you have a good way of looking at detail, whether you're somebody that brings people together, whether you cheer people up, be good at that. That shifts everything that we've got in this world. We got this jamboree, and we're looking forward. Down right above this hill here, we got the big zip. We have the longest zip line in the United States. We have the second largest skate park in the entire country. We got water reality. We've got all the shooting sports, whether they're bows and barrels. All that came from someone who was sitting here at a jamboree before you who said, we actually can make the greatest scout park. No, wait. We can make the greatest camp in the country. And they started to talk about that as a possibility. All they had was the words that came out of their mouth. But you know what they did? They kept talking about it. They kept talking about it. The secret to life, to be successful, doing the work. We do the work, it happens. We do the work, we get to our next rank. We get star, we get life, we get eagle. We do the work, we get through that class that's really challenging, and we move a C to a B. We do the work, there we are moving our tassel on graduation day. We do the work, we've got the kind of relationships that are there your whole life. Your work is saying kind of the same thing over and over again. On my honor, I will do my best. A scout is trustworthy, loyal, prepared. So many people in life are looking at what they can get. You right here are the people that make life work because you give. You give your hearts, you give your kindness, you give your leadership, you sacrifice. And the strength is sitting here. What I look at, and I want to have you kind of think about, there's this kid, goes out in the backyard, picks up a bat, picks up a ball, takes that ball, tosses it up in the air, swings, whoo, boom, falls on the ground. Okay. Picks up the ball a second time, really concentrates, tosses it up, this time gets a little tighter grip, swings, boom, falls on the ground. Oh. Third time, picks up the ball, gets himself together, tosses it up, falls to the ground. You know what he says? What a pitcher. All right. There you go. That's called clapped, everybody. It wasn't that funny, but you liked it. So there you go. All right. Here's why I say that. Circumstances don't shape you. You're going to shape them circumstances. You and I are going to deal with, probably not today, but in the next couple days, some rain's going to come. That's going to be tough as we make dinner. Do we say, oh, we're not making dinner? No. We figure it out. We get water under our tent. We figure it out. We have trouble. We're a little tension between, being together for all this time. We figure it out. That's the difference of what leaders do. Leaders make the thing happen. And the only thing I want you to know is you've got everything that you already need to be successful. It's right here. That Scout Oath and Law, you just keep doing that and remembering hard work takes it there. It is the gift that makes everything else work. This Jamboree is about going forward. We don't want to talk about the past. What we want to talk about is where you want to take it.